we will fight.
The Congress of the People maintained that the party was treated unfairly in Prime Minister Prasad Basasa's cabinet shake-up. A top official made that clear today on TV6's Morning Edition program, where a panel sought to analyze what the changes could mean for the country.
One day after the swearing-in of new cabinet ministers, there are complaints about the size of the cabinet. Economist and political commentator Indira Sajiwan Ali says she's not pleased with the price tag the country is now left with.
This is certainly now one of the largest cabinet that we would ever have had in the country. We've crossed, I think we're well over about 32 numbers in the cabinet now at this point. Exactly. At a time when our revenue situation is quite tight, as we are told.
Public Relations Officer of the PNM, Faris Al-Rawi, continued the call of opposition leader Dr. Keith Rowley for the removal of Jack Warner. Mr. Al-Rawi does not agree with the splitting up of the Ministry of Works and Transport.
It has taken 13 years to put in 13 months to put in Ministry of Justice, and we've not yet seen anything out of it. How long is it going to take transport to realign?
Deputy political leader of the Congress of the People, Robert Myers, accused the Prime Minister of lacking respect for Winston Dukaran. He is still of the belief that the COP was treated unfairly in the cabinet reshuffle.
Kamla Prasad Basasa has absolutely no respect for Winston Dukaran, and it has nothing to do with the partnership. This goes back to the UNC.
Mr. Myers expresses the view that the Congress of the People was used by the United National Congress to win the May 24th elections.
The COP was used because the UNC has and continues to be tainted by corruption, as is the PNM, and the problem is that they just took our manifesto almost wholesale and said to the public, this is what we're about.
Aksha Galston, TV6 News.
The shifting of Carolyn Supersad Bachan from energy to public administration was hotly debated last evening by candidates in the upcoming election for leadership of the Congress of the People. The COP carried their public meeting to Faizabad, where the topic of security and crime took a back seat to the more timely topic of the cabinet reshuffle.
The majority of the COP candidates believe that Carolyn Supersad Bachan was not given enough time to perform in her role as Minister of Energy. COP Deputy Leader, Legal Affairs Minister Prakash Ramadas says while the Prime Minister has the final say, there should have been greater consultation with the executive arm of the COP.
She has done so much work and revived so much for this nation. The disappointment we feel is that the platform has already been prepared for that industry to take off again, and she would not be there to see the birth of her baby. And that is, I know personally, very painful to her and of course to us.
Known for speaking out on controversial topics, the MP for Davidi Omera, Sports Minister Anna Roberts, did not mince words. He believes Ms. Supersad Bachan sealed her own fate. He says he advised her on numerous occasions to change her team of advisors within the ministry since they all worked under the previous regime.
She not only kept Mr. Jupiter, she kept other PNM advisors like Frank Lukin, PNM advisor to Ken Julian. She hired Curtis Williams, a PNM hatchet man, to write her speeches. So who undermined our minister? It is the PNM who did it, and I am very sorry that she allowed the PNM to do it to her.
Deputy Chairman of the COP, Vernon de Lima, says the party was maligned.
We were treated with total contempt, total disrespect, and don't let anybody on this stage, Mr. Roberts or anybody else, try to influence it differently.
And he also weighed in on the issue of Shogunas West MP Jack Warner retaining a ministerial portfolio despite the controversy surrounding the ex-FIFA vice president.
I'm not saying he's guilty, but I'm saying that Trinidad and Tobago has been tarnished by this man's association with FIFA, who and that FIFA organization a bunch of crooks, right? So that when the outside world looks at it and sees Jack Warner, I ask myself the question, well, why if Warner is a hard-working man, Kola Hart was too, bring back Kola Hart.
Lone female candidate Nalini for Ms. Supersad Bachan's removal. The elections for a new leader of the Congress of the People comes off this Sunday, July 3rd. Karen Kozia-Phillip, TV6 News.
An ex-cabinet minister sings the praises of the Prime Minister. Subhas Pandey, who was relieved of his duties following the cabinet reshuffle, says the Prime Minister deals with pressure well. He says although Mrs. Prasad Basesa might be soft, she's firm.